Well, hello, hello. Either welcome to or welcome back to my channel, Within Reason. My name is Jessica, and today, and thank you for being here. I appreciate you greatly. Also, today, I wanted to talk about Charlie Kirk. And I'm sure almost everyone has heard of who he is. If not, he was a conservative, very religious Christian speaker, and he debated people and went to colleges and literally had people that he kind of faced off with, I guess, on differences with the religion and government, politics, whatever, everything. Anyway, so he was actually speaking at UVU, Utah. And I think there was about 3,000 people there that day. And he was shot, I think around like 11:30. And it was just really strange. He was assassinated live on, basically on TV. And from the very beginning, it seemed very sketchy to me. Like everything seemed off. So I was like, And then just all the things that felt weird, right? Like, they did no investigation. Okay, first of all, he was shot, right? And there was no blood when he was picked up. But supposedly he had been shot in the neck by a .30-06, which technically would have blown his face off. Or at least this area. You know what I mean? There's no way. So everything started off kind of crazy, and there's been so many different theories out there, and this is all just my opinion. This is not factual. This is just what I'm thinking from seeing everything that's been out there. So, I do not think he was shot. Okay, there's so many theories, right? But there can be only two theories. Either he was shot and he died, or he wasn't shot at all. And you say, oh, well, how can that be? We all watched it happen. But yeah, this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that his hologram was shot. I don't think it was actually him physically. I think it was his hologram. I think he was obviously there that day. He greeted people, signed autographs, what else? Handed out hats. I mean, whatever. I think after a certain point, his actual presence was switched up with a hologram. And I know he had been said to have been sitting on like a trap door. I'm wondering if possibly, there was a, take him down, rise up the hologram so it's one and the same, and then just drop him. I don't know if that's possible, but in my mind, that could be a thing, right? Because everything's so technically advanced that anything could be possible, right? So if he was shot actually that day, or whatever, air-actuated pellet or whatever, bullet, I don't know, whatever. If he actually died that day, right, they did not do anything to try to save him. It was the weirdest thing. They were all, handing stuff off and to each other and running away, and his best friend, Mikey McCoy, I guess, was, out. He didn't wait to see what happened to Charlie. He didn't go check on Charlie. They were all on the phones already, doing hand signals and throwing up gang signs and out there, all surrounding him, and it's damn, all your people either have your back 1,000,000% and are helping cover up this huge thing to make it look like you died that day, to get out of whatever issues you have going on with his donors, or whatever had going on. They either covered for him or they killed him, right? That's it. It's someone close to him, a whole team. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying for sure, but I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, there's a lot of crazy things. Like, so you see Erica Kirk, his wife, who was just like, has this speech, right? You know, I don't know, like right after Charlie was killed, she does this speech. Basically, like, anyway, she ends up saying, I forgive you. I forgive him. The guy who killed her husband. Everyone was like, what? Some people were clapping, but I think more in like shock, like, shit. Well, good for her. Everyone was crying. See, now what they did is, and she wasn't even ever really, she'd do a little bladder eye with tears that never came out. Okay. Same eye too. It just kept blotting that one eye. She only has tears that fall from one eye. And it was just ridiculous. She was seen like putting eye drops in her eyes before she went on stage. And there's so many things, like the crisis actors that were at Charlie, at UVU, out in the parking lot where Charlie was, you know, setting up. I mean, it's so weird. You know what I mean? Like, and what I mean by crisis actor, there was a kid showing, like, working on his reaction. He was like, in the parking lot. And anyway, so the dude who asked the question, he actually reacted that exact way. So whoever asked Charlie the final question, which was about mass shootings, and then all of a sudden he shot, the whole thing was just weird. But anyway, so he didn't, you know what I mean? And he was, everybody, you know, like no EMS jumped in. They had crisis actors that were there, not real people. And there were a couple real EMTs, that one that was like trying to, I guess, would be trying to help, but they made sure that he couldn't get anywhere near Charlie. So I don't know. I think and here's the thing, on the ground, right? So when Charlie gets shot, right, he's sitting there. Anyway, the guy next to him comes basically and like shoves him like this, like, and he falls off the chair. But I don't think, like, I think with your hologram, right, you obviously wouldn't fall off the chair. You would need it. I mean, I guess maybe, I don't know how that works, but I don't think it was Charlie. And then, like, when they lifted Charlie up, it had said freedom on his shirt. It had a white shirt on with the black letters of said freedom. Well, when they picked Charlie up off the ground after he was supposedly shot, there was just a white t-shirt. There was no lettering on his shirt. And then he had white sneakers. I mean, white on whites. You know what I mean? Crisp, fresh out of the box. Okay? And how is that when you're walking around on grass and stuff? Nothing's, it's just weird. I don't know if anybody else caught that or anybody else saw, you know, or finds it suspicious or feels like the same way I do. But I would love to hear what you guys think, because I find it crazy. And then all the stuff with Erica and the orphanage that she had when she was 17 years old. She was running an orphanage in Romania called the Romanian Angels. And how are you 17 years old and you run an orphanage in another country? So many ties to the government. Her mom and dad, Charlie's mom and dad. First of all, the mom and dad, Erica's mom and dad, were getting paid $700,000 a year from Turning Point USA. They don't even work there. So there's a whole bunch of like tax issues and money laundering and fraud, and all of the like pastors that are like related to Turning Point or like associated, they're all going down for like child porn, child sexual assault, all types of crazy, you know, stuff, like, and all types of crimes, like you name it, they're going down for it. So it's just really crazy. Like everybody's involved, right? Like the government, the church, like you are talking some of the biggest cults. Yes, cults. I think churches are cults. I think some of the school. I think it's the system. It's not necessarily the thing, right? It's the system itself is cult-like. You know what I mean? Everybody's crazy. Everybody's crazy, and it's getting worse and worse, and they're like trying to make us crazier by the day, right? Like ruining all the things that we once thought were, but see, none of this is really real. At the end of the day, they always say life is a stage, because it is. None of it's real. It is what you make it. It is exactly what you make it. I mean, I know that sounds crazy, but I don't know. You write your own ending, because I don't know. That's how I feel about it, but I'm just saying, like, I just feel like the Truman Show. I don't know if you've ever seen the Truman Show. It's with Jim Carrey, and he comes to find out that, like, his whole entire life was a lie, an act. He was on this TV show, and everyone there was an actor and actress besides him. He's the only one who didn't know about it, and it, like, followed his life for, like, 45 years or whatever. And then, I don't want to ruin it, but it's like a whole thing, right? So, but yeah, he finds out, like, his wife's been lying to him. His whole life is a joke. It's just so weird. So, you never know. That's a possibility, and maybe it's not. Maybe it is 100% legit, and Tyler Robinson shot him in the neck with a .30-06 from 200, feet, I guess, away. So I don't really know, but I just don't think that it is what they say it is. I think Erica has a lot to hide. And then she does a interview type, not an interview, but introduces J.D. Vance, the vice president, for vice president. I don't know. For president, vice president, I don't know. But it was stupid, and she keeps just getting caught. She's like running her fingers through his hair, and she does real inappropriate huggy, touchy type of stuff. But here's the thing. I did notice on the very, very next television thing she did, she ended up running her fingers through a girl's hair to make it look like that's something that she does with everybody. So now she's going to be running her fingers through everyone's hair every single time, because that normalizes it, and it wasn't just him specifically that she did it to. So I don't know. I heard his wife was pissed. So anyway, it's like a big thing. There's so many scandals, and you never see like Charlie's mom or dad or sister, but they all work for the government. You know what I mean? They're all in on it together. So, and that's another thing. If maybe they're really not against him. Maybe they really, really did help him and cover it up. But none of it makes sense. Like, for example, they don't get the EMS for Charlie. They don't do any wound care, nothing. They end up taking him in an SUV to a hospital 20 minutes past a hospital that they had to pass to get there, right? And a lot of the doctors that worked on Charlie when he got there happened to be searched previously on the internet by Israel, months prior, days prior. It's just weird. And so supposedly no autopsy was done. Erica signed off that she didn't want one done. And then it was said there was one done and that they found a bullet. So I just don't believe any of that. Like, I find that all to be a lie, and they try to pacify us to make us not ask questions when questions are needed. They need to be asked here and answered. That's the thing. And enough with the cover-ups and the lies and all the stupid shit you try to make us believe. The government I'm talking about. They try to make you believe a certain perception. And it's not necessarily a true perception. It's what they want you to believe. That's why I feel like schools are just like, they're training us to believe what they want us to believe. And I never looked at it like that before. But the older I get, the more I'm like, they're trying to kill us, literally. Like, they do not want good for us. They do not want to help us. They are not there to help you. Like, think about it, right? Like, and we elect these people, Trump, who says he's going to do a certain thing. And, dude, he was so dope the first term, right? Like, the first 4 years, he killed it. He did what he said, boom, boom, boom. Then he gets reelected, right? Well, you know, runs again, gets whatever. And he's in there now and not doing a damn thing he said he was doing. I don't really care what anybody says. He's doing a lot of shady shit, like, all the time. And just do what you say you're going to do. Make your word. Be true to your word. Your word is everything. It's all you've got in this life. Be true to it. You know what I mean? Like, that's going to go farther than anything else. But, you know, money talks for them. And sadly, you know, they base their worth in the world off the money that they have, not necessarily what they're actually really worth, right? So if you didn't have all that money and you weren't, you know, who would you be? You know what I mean? Like, you would be a nobody just like the rest of us, supposedly, right? They think they're special. They're not, right? But they find a way to, like, evade taxes or, you know, own a church to get whatever they, you know, can get from that. And it's like, we're out here busting our ass and you're out here stealing our money or scamming. And, you know, another thing was Israel supposedly offered Charlie $150 million as a donor towards TPUSA. Charlie denied it. He didn't want it. There was a lot of really shady things, like, in this story, you know. And I'm sorry it's all over the place again, but the whole story's all over the place, you know what I mean? So it's just, like, a lot going on with that. And I'm, like, trying to think, but yeah, Erica, she's now the CEO of it. And it's like, and then the whole thing with Candace Owens, who was, like, a very good friend of Charlie's. She did, you know, all types of events with him and stuff like that. And she's going hardcore for him and calling out everybody in TPUS. Really, she's just calling out the world, you know, basically. And I appreciate it. I mean, I don't know if she has an agenda outside of this, but as of right now, I agree with a lot of the things she says. Not all, but, you know, the majority, the getting justice, if that's possible. Justice isn't really possible. Like, once you're gone, you're gone. But, you know, maybe for people in the future, right, that are in the same situation, maybe it'll stop, you know, I don't know. But whatever, it doesn't matter. Charlie is gone. He had 2 young girls. And, you know, everything is just all gone. So, I don't know. Like I said, I don't even know if he's really gone. And so many things with the Tyler Robinson, the kid that they said shot Charlie. He was caught on camera walking on Phil Lyman, who is associated with the college and government. They're all, like, associated, all of them. So he owned his family and him own, like, land that are, like, connected to the college or near the college or something like that. Well, supposedly Tyler Robinson undid the gun, changed clothes, jumped off the roof. This is within 8 seconds probably. Ran, hid the 30-aught in the woods somewhere, and then got dressed again, undid the gun, like 3-4 times, right? All in this time. And then he was found, the gun was found at this, like, abandoned house that was on this Phil Lyman's property. And then, like, it was weird because, come to find out, everybody who did interviews, you know, regarding Charlie's shooting, that immediate, you know, interview, come to find out they're all, like, either military or they know somebody who was associated with the whole shooting. Like, so I don't know. Like, for example, Phil Lyman, his niece was, and the 2 little girls that gave, like, that real weird interview. And they say, they're saying words they wouldn't say at that age. So it just seems weird. And it was, because it was all a lie. And even the girl who did the commercial was like, yeah, they said it was like basically my shot, to get some camera time in. It's all a lie. It's all a lie. But anyway, I don't know. Oh, yeah. And also, Charlie wanted to expose the Epstein list. He wanted to make sure that people knew. And I think a lot of the people that surround him are on that list. I do. I think Jeffrey Epstein's still alive, too. I don't think he died that day. Not for 1 second. That's another weird thing, right? None of the cameras worked just that day. I don't know, man. They're going to just cover it all up because they're all in on it. You know what I mean? Like, they all cover for each other. So it's just like a big trickle-down effect of shit. You know what I mean? So, I don't know, but sorry to babble so much. I have, like, so much stuff, but sorry. The noise drives me nuts. Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's it. But I'll come back with, if there's anything else you guys want to talk about, something else, or, add something. I can always do a video on that. Well, I appreciate you for watching. Stay safe, stay blessed, cherish the simple things, and I will talk to you later. Have a blessed day. Bye.